Hey everybody, it's me, Margaret, and I don't have much to show. I have been working like a crazy person on that easy scarf that Diane, Farm Wife 99, had gifted me. And I want to tell you, I have put forth some serious effort on that scarf, and I am almost through. Well, watch this clip. You know what this is? 11 stitches left on the easy scarf. And it sounds like I'm so close, but really each stitch represents 2 of these rows. Then you pick up another stitch. So I'm so close, but I fell asleep last night and couldn't finish it. But look at here. I've done a lot, haven't I? So I really thought that I was going to be able to finish it up. Let's see, I put it down on Sunday night, I think it was. And Monday I got totally distracted by this. If you can tell what this is, it has pockets. Now, if you are a Disney cruise fan, as we are, you'll recognize this as something called a fish extender. And what that is on the Disney cruise lines, there's this little decoration thing that sits outside your door. It kind of protrudes from the wall, and it has like a brass fish on it. Of course, it has other things too, like a starfish and a seahorse or whatever. But the term fish extender came because you hang this thing from the fish and it extends it. Get it? Okay. Now the deal is when you go on a Disney cruise, whether you go with a group or not, you can participate in something called the Fish Extender Gifts. It's an exchange. It's just little happies that you put you prepare ahead of time. A lot of them are craft-like, and you could buy inexpensive small things, and then you put them in the members of the group that is participating. Now, we happen to be going on a cruise this summer with a group, and we're all doing, well, we're not all doing, we have the option to participate in the Fish Extender Gifts if you want to. Well, I've been on 2 Disney cruises and have opted not to participate in these just because it involves so much time and I usually did not have to put forth. And I decided that this year I really wanted to do this. And I think Thomas will get a big kick out of getting a little happy every now and then. I mean, you'll be gone doing your activities and you'll come back and somebody would have come and put gifts in there. And it's really a fun, cute little idea. So I'm excited. Now, the deal about these gadgets, and you don't have to have anything fancy, you could make your own, and there were a few videos on no-sew versions of these, or you could go to eBay and buy them for like $50 or something like that. Of course, these people have monogramming machines, and so they do some real fancy things. And of course, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to figure out how to sew my own. Well, there were no YouTube tutorials on this. I am not a very knowledgeable seamstress, is that the right term? Sewer. And so I really needed more information than these blogs were providing. I found several blogs that give you instructions, and it's like, cut a piece of fabric this size, cut this size for your pockets, stick on your, I mean, it was very, not even technical terms, stick on some bias tape binding, and I needed more information than that. So with the combination of 2 or 3, I think it was actually 3 blogs, I got out some paper and designed my own to see if it was going to work. The first one, I thought it was too small. You can only really go 8 inches. Anything beyond that kind of bumps into the door when you open it and stuff like that. But the size of the pockets I didn't like on one of them, and you need to have the pleats so that you can actually have, you know, more than just a flat object fit in your pocket. we had 3 cup pockets because, of course, my big kids don't go on things like this with us anymore. That's actually a funny story. While we're on this cruise, Maggie is flying down to Tyler. He lives right by Port Canaveral currently and has yet to have gone to Universal and see Harry Potter. So Maggie's flying down, and she and Tyler are going to go to Universal and see Harry Potter together while we're on the cruise. And then we got off the cruise, and we're going to all pile Tyler up, pack him, bring him home for about a month or so, and then he's got to head out to California, and Maggie's going to be heading out to Dallas. So big changes in our world. But anyway, I digress. So I got this paper version and figured out what I wanted to do. And then I started to sew, and I thought, you know what, there's not a YouTube video on how to sew these things, so I'm going to film it. And I did. I filmed all my steps, and it's just like I do everything. It's my trial and error as we go through. But I'm going to be uploading that, and the reason why, not just for fish extenders, but this is a great little closet organizer. It has a rod up here. You would put like a little rod, and you could hang it on the inside of a closet door or something like that, and put your little pockets or stuffed animals or whatever. So anyway, this is not finished. Another fun thing that you do is you decorate each of the pockets and all that. So I'm gonna do that later, but that's the easy part. The hard part was figuring out how to construct this thing, and I'll be putting that video together soon. Now, back on March 2nd, I sat down one day to do a I Love Smart People video, and my computer just completely shut down on me. I had a lot of issues with it. I've since figured out what the problem is, and everything should be better. And I've got some of these filmed, so I'll go ahead and start this. Some of these suggestions from the viewers that I'm talking about were back in February, but this was in March when I was filming it. Of course, I got sidetracked again, so now it's time to finish this up and share this good information with everybody. Hello, and welcome to another episode of I Love Smart People. These are great tips, suggestions, creative comments from the viewers of my videos, things that they've written in the comments section. And I want to share them with you so we can all benefit from these great things. Now, the first one I want to bring up is about my glasses. I bought these glasses that light up, remember? And they're prescription, and I got them from Barnes & Noble. And Kira Morris says, OMG, my husband works for AutoZone and he got a pair of those, but no prescription in them. So that might be handy for some people. I'm going to use them too. Laughing out loud. Let your viewers know that if they want some without the prescription, AutoZone has them. Here in Oklahoma, they're $14.99, which is a better price for my prescription ones that I got. So if you're interested in some glasses that will just shed some light on your work with no prescription, go there. And then Mary Ellen Kinkle says, as a glasses wearer, because she already has a prescription, I recommend the Hug Light. And so I guess you'll have to do an Amazon search or a Google search for the Hug Light. It sits on your neck. It has lights at each end. Also makes a great flashlight because it's hands-free. Amazon carries them. There you go. So it's called the Hug Light. And I also had a little clip-on Ott light that I can't find at the moment to show you. But it was, you know, Ott lights are put on sale all the time at Joann. Well, gosh, everywhere. They'll do 50% off. And so I waited till this one was 50% off, and I think it was, I don't know, $9 or $10, something like that by the time it was all said and done. But it clips, and I clip it to the top of my shirt. The problem is I wear a different kind of shirt. So if we're traveling, I had on a, button shirt, and I didn't have any place to clip it. So a Hug Light might be a better solution if you don't want to use something like this. Now, this is a major news flash. Teresa Turkett shared with me that the fiber factor, one of my favorite things to watch on YouTube, is not going to be happening for the second season. They had gone through it. They had posted how to apply and everything. I did a video telling you, alerting you to that. And she says, I just read that the fiber factor has decided not to go forward with the second season. I enjoyed the episodes and I watched season 1. I didn't know if you were aware, and I wasn't until she gave me this tip, that the Skacel, I guess you could say, I never can remember how to pronounce that, Skacel company has decided not to continue. So I went to their site after she gave me this little alert, and public pressure said they didn't want them to do it. And it really surprised me, because I like to see a company who is going forward and doing something different. So you can read what they've got on there. So just go to thefiberfactor.com and learn about what they're faced with. I was gifted a tea cozy pattern by Munch, and I was talking about it one time in one of the videos, and I loved it and thought it was adorable, but it was too big. It was made for an average size teapot, and this is the one I use the most, which is probably about, I think it's 2.5 cups, something like that. And so it's smaller. And with crochet, I'm really good at being able to size something like that, like hats or whatever, but this was a knit pattern and I wouldn't know how to go about doing that. And Made by Ro commented, and she said, one thing you might want to try for the tea cozy is to knit it in 100% wool and then felt it down to the size you want. Felt tea cozies are great, and it's so much easier than figuring out how to reduce the pattern down. Now, I've never felted anything before in my whole entire life, and I do know from Erin and she has done a video, and she has this neat little washer that sits on the countertop. It gives just enough agitation, whereas we have front loaders, and apparently that is not the best option for felting. I don't know, I need to do more research with it. So that might be something I need to be brave and try and look into, something new to research. So thanks, Ro. Now this is from the Crazy Crocheter. And I think if I remember correctly, her name is Catherine. And she's just going into high school, getting ready to go into high school, but she's extremely talented and very well spoken. So if you haven't subscribed to her channel, I'd suggest you go. But I had made, I think this was some recent videos, I had made some knitted hats that just came out too big. And she observed that the hat, she says, that hat you said was too big would be perfect if you added elastic. Just a thought. Now, I have heard of this, but I have no earthly idea how to do it. I don't know what kind of elastic I need to buy. I don't know anything. So there's probably a YouTube video out there, but I thought, I know for a fact that there's others of us that are having this same problem as we're, learning to knit and learning to regulate our tension and all that sort of thing. So I thought that would be a great topic for us to investigate. So thank you, Crazy Crocheter. Now, I mentioned this before. It's from Donna Dyer, and she was noticing that I was having some trouble trying to decide how to do my color work, and I would really like to do one color in one hand, one color in the other, but I just can't do the English style knitting, or at least I can't yet. And so she mentioned this tool right here, and it's called a Norwegian knitting thimble. I had to stop for a minute. And she gave me a link to the Knit Picks site, where they call it a wire yarn stranding guide. Now, Knit Picks carries two kinds of these things. One is a plastic version that looks like it has teeth. It kind of clamps down and you feed your yarn through it and it comes out like that, fitting on your finger. And this one, I still have yet to try it because I've been in my let's not think too hard crafting mode. So I haven't, but I did buy it, and I got this one from Amazon actually because they're very inexpensive, and I didn't want to buy just one little thing from Knit Picks, and I'm still on that yarn fast, so I checked Amazon, and of course I'm always buying other things from Amazon, and it came in. So I'm very anxious to try this. So thank you, Donna. Now, since that was filmed, I have used the Norwegian knitting thimble, but I used it for crochet. I had done a crochet where every other single crochet was a different color, And so I thought, let me give it a try. So I put it on there, and it actually does help a lot. So I'm looking forward to using it in my knitting. I just haven't gotten there yet. So thanks, Donna, for that. Okay, now this is from Alicia Bell, and she's writing in reference to the Addy machines, but it's true for all knitting. You know how when you knit stripes, knitting is a circular motion that never stops, and so it's not like crochet where you join and chain up. So your stripes are always not, they're just not going to meet exactly. They're going to be just kind of like this. So there are ways to do jogless stripes, and both on the Addy and on knitting needles. But if you don't want to do that, haven't learned to do that, or whatever, she shares that if you take your scarf specifically and lay it down flat and make sure all those jogs are on one side, that they're not going to be as noticeable. And I do use this trick because I admit to not bothering to learn how to do jogless stripes yet. There is a video for the Addy. Look for Susie's video on that. Search jogless stripes Addy, and she shows you how to do that. And then of course you can search anywhere on YouTube, and they'll just do a general search rather, and there's lots of people that will teach you how to do a jogless stripe with knitting needles. So yeah, that's a good tip. Thanks, Alicia. Now this is from Deborah Morse, who, judging from this tip, I would imagine is a master knitter. But she writes, Margaret, just a suggestion, but why not try intarsia bobbins? Now, this is in reference to a hat that I was making where I was trying to bring the strand across, and it was like too many stitches, and I had read somewhere where you can twist it after the 5th stitch, and la 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 la. Okay, fine. But she's kind of setting me straight here on the proper way that it's done, and that is with intarsia bobbins. And I've seen that. I've seen a video on that before. Very interesting. You would use a separate bobbin wound in appropriate color for each heart, because I was making a heart hat. When you change color, just make sure that you twist the 2 colors so you don't get a hole. Stranding along the back of the work is for Fair Isle, where you change color every few stitches. You know, so if I'm going to make like a picture, like the heart in one color, that would be considered intarsia. And Fair Isle is really what I do most. It's what I'm most comfortable with right now. But my point is, it's something I really need to learn. If I'm going to try to make those pictures, I need to do it right. I hope you don't mind me saying, of course I don't mind you saying, I love learning from you people. As for the hats not fitting, I suspect that your tension is not right. And I hate to say this, but do you do a tension swatch? Sometimes. I have been known to do a tension swatch. I don't know. I think I'm still new and I'm still getting the hang of it, and that very well could be the case. But thank you, Deborah, for that input. And it's just something I need to work on. Now here we're talking about seaming in crochet. And Cherie, I'm not sure how you say her username. This is something that I do on a regular basis, but I had not done and got this problem. But it reminds me, by her mentioning this, that this is something really worth mentioning. She says, someone may have already suggested this, but I'm too lazy to read through the comments, laughing out loud. Around 9:15, that's how many minutes into the video, you started talking about invisible seams, color changes. I have a potential solution you could try, although I must warn you, it involves lots of ends to weave in, and it does. When you're ready to change colors, finish off the round as if you're finishing off the project. And once you cut the yarn, pull the yarn through the loop, secure it, etc. And when adding the new color, you could join it in a different spot of your project than where you finished off the previous round. I just join it by doing a slip stitch and then chaining however many chains I need for the stitch, and crochet around. Repeat the process and you won't have a seam. So that's an excellent solution. And it does involve a lot of weaving in of ends, but you know, I don't mind that, to be honest with you. I never have minded weaving in the ends. So I would rather do that and have a smoother looking project than to try the lazy way that I did on that other hat. So, whatever. But thanks, Cherie, for bringing that up. Okay, this is from Lucy Avro. She says, great video, Margaret. I absolutely love when you share some of your mishaps and failures. Makes me feel like I'm not alone. You know me, what you see is what you get. Suggestion for the skinny infinity scarf. Now this was, I used the small Addy machine, and it makes about a 3-inch scarf, 3-inch when you press it down flat. And I just tie the two ends together and I put it around my neck and then I twist it. That's great for me because once you twist it and put it back on, you got it covered up. And so I'm like, why would you want to go? You know, I'm basically lazy apparently. But she says, the Kitchener stitch to join will finish it off nicely. Now this is exactly what you'd want to do if you want to join those tubes seamlessly. It would just, you would have a seamless infinity scarf. And again, like I said, that I'm too lazy to do that because it's covered up anyway. You know, why would you bother doing that? You would bother doing that if you would do things properly, unlike me. She said she used Very Pink Knits channel to learn it, and I've learned a lot of things from her. Her name is Stacy, and she is great. So thank you, Lucy. And you're right, that is the proper way to do it. We all need to not practice laziness. Now, this is from Tammy, who is one of my longtime subscribers and friends, Gabe Rowan 2011. You may recognize that name. And she's sharing with us 2 podcasts, and I'm assuming she's talking video podcasts, that are worth looking at, that we would all like to hear about. It says, Margaret, check out Knitting Tips by Judy podcast and also Orinda Holiday. They're experts and show great tips to improve all aspects of knitting. Judy knits for the movies and TV shows, and Orinda is executive of the Knitting Guild of America. Wonderful ladies and very helpful. And I don't know if you like I am, but I just can't get enough of learning and watching about knitting. So thanks, Tammy. You knew exactly what I wanted to hear. So I have since checked some of these out. And, well, Knitting Tips by Judy I haven't looked up Orinda. And she is pretty impressive. So thanks, Tammy. All right, this is the simplest and most brilliant solution I've come across for my quick and lazy nature. I had the bamboo hooks that I got inexpensively from Amazon, crochet hooks, and I like them just fine. Almost all of them are in great shape, but there was one, actually I have 2, that had a little rough spot and were kind of catching the yarn, which is just more irritating than anything. It wasn't really doing any damage. And Ashley Loves Me 91 said, put some clear nail polish on the bamboo hook. It worked for me. So I went, oh, that's a heck of a lot easier than trying to find some fine sandpaper and, you know, some kind of varnish or something like that. So I ran to the back, got some clear nail polish, and guess what? Worked like a charm. It is just like a brand spanking new hook. So thank you, Ashley Loves Me. I'm not sure what your first name is, but it solved all my problems. I'm never going to forget that tip. That's a great one. Now I had this clip saved to talk about, but it was so long ago, I have since actually put it into action. This is from Allison Clayton, where she alerted me to the fact that Singer has released a new version of their knitting machine. And I have recently bought that machine and done a review, super pleased with it, and I do recommend it if you want an affordable option for the smaller knitting machine, circular knitting machine. So thank you, Allison. I appreciate your help. Sarah writes, is a girl after my own heart. Look what she shared. She says, you may have already heard about this blog, but I hadn't. But I find it hugely helpful for all kinds of techniques, jogless stripes, tubular cast-ons, and bind-offs, etc. It's called techknitting.blogspot.com. Usually there are multiple ways to do things, including, and I love this, great looking but difficult way and an easy and good enough way. Don't I always try to do the easy and good enough way? just thought this may help you, and it is a great site. I actually keep a little tab on my iPad open so I could always get to it in a hurry, and I have browsed through it. Very neat, fun to read blog. So thanks, Sarah. Now, I had done a headband tutorial using the small Addy. So all you people who are out there getting singers now, you could use that singer to create these little quick headbands. And again, I just tied the ends together rather than go into the trouble of doing the Kitchener stitch. And then I attached a flower over it so you would never see that join anyway. And Samantha Triplet says, why not put a small band of crochet or knit around the join to make a turban style ear warmer? That's a great idea. You know that turban look, you know what I'm talking about, and it kind of pulls in right here. I probably should have made one to demonstrate, but that didn't occur to me. Anyway, to make a long story short, that is a super idea. So if you are not able to crochet a flower, if you are in a hurry, you might want to just make a small band, and I would say probably, I don't know, 5 stitches wide, or you could do one 10 stitches wide to get a good definite band on there. Play with it, see what you like, and then you wrap it around and sew it together. And that would be very simple, very quick, and very effective. And also, I think I've mentioned this before, Angie Wade is learning to crochet, but she hasn't been able to do the big flowers yet, and so she has gone to, was it Joanne? Angie, I can't remember, one of the craft stores, and into the scrapbooking section, and she found flowers that are just as pretty as they can be, and she puts those flowers on the headband. So great ideas everywhere. So that's all I've got this week, and keep those good tips coming. And as a matter of fact, I have something related to that that I will be releasing here shortly when I kind of work the details and kinks out of my idea. Something new I want to add to my channel. So as soon as I work all that out, I'll let you know. But until next time, see ya. Bye.